Hi, welcome to my shop. I'm Brian. Last week, Tom Lipton of Ox Tool was prototyping a part for his dad as the end piece for a pipette stand. He's going to make it out of a material called Starboard, which is a sheet of high-density polyethylene. He laid it out and he milled it. And when I watched his video, I thought to myself, well, there might be a different way that a woodworker would do that. Not that the woodworker's way is better, it's just different because of familiarity with methods and tools available. Well, Tom suggested that maybe I should make a short video to show how a woodworker would approach that task. So here we go. So just to give an overview of the methodology that we'd use, this is a part from another project that I needed half a dozen exact duplicates of this. So in order to do that, before I made any parts, I produced a template of the part. Invested a little bit of time. Roughed out a blank on the bandsaw and then laid the template on the blank like so, and then take it over to our router table and use the template bit in the router to clean up the edge. Now the template bit has a cutting edge here and it's got a pilot bearing up here. The pilot bearing runs along the edge of the template and the bit cuts the blank to the exact profile of the template. My preferred material for making a template is MDF, medium density fiberboard. It's cheap, it's easy to work with woodworking tools, it's stable, and it's readily available at building supply centers. This piece is 13 millimeters thick, a little bit over half an inch. But thickness really isn't critical. 3/4 inch is fine, even 3/8. So this piece is a little bit big for what we need, so let's go to the table saw and take off a piece that we can work with. Okay, here we are at the table saw. We've got the panel cutting jig out, and let's make the cut. Okay, we got the rip fence back on the saw. Tom's piece has overall dimensions of 5 inches by 6 inches, so let's rip this piece down to 5 inches. Okay, time for some layout. So the overall length of Tom's part is 6 inches. So we'll just lay that off. And then it comes up 1 inch. So it'll be 5 inches from the top. Okay, while we were off camera, I finished doing the layout, and I drilled 4 holes in this centerpiece that needs to be cut out, and used my jigsaw to cut out that to rough. We'll clean that up later. Now I'm at the chop saw, and we'll cut this off to length. Good. Now over to the bandsaw to cut out the rest of it. Okay, here we are at the bandsaw. We'll continue cutting out the template. So here's our template. It's been roughed out on the bandsaw. The interior opening I took out with my jigsaw. You can't see them on camera, I'm sure, but I've got some scribe lines of the exact shape that we want to clean up to. Now there are a number of ways we can clean this up. The most laborious, of course, would be using a file and a little bit of elbow grease. What I've decided to do on this one, I've got some scraps of 1-inch square aluminum tubing kicking around. So I'm going to attach them onto the template, flush with the scribe lines, and clean it up on my router. Now I've already attached some double-sided tape onto the pieces of aluminum tubing. All we need to do is peel off the backing and stick them down onto the template. Sometimes this backing is a little bit difficult to get off. Leave the tape in place. There we go. And then we'll just lay this down. As I said, you probably can't see those scribe lines on camera. I used my utility knife to cut those. There we go. And that's pretty solid. Certainly solid enough for what we're about to do here. Alright, here we are at the router table. I have the template bit in the table. You can see I've got the height set so that the bearing rides on the square stock aluminum, and the cutters will be on the template that we're going to clean up. Now, working with MDF, it tends to be a little bit dusty, so I've got some dust collection hooked up here, and this is definitely a noisy operation, so hearing protection is in order. So there we go, finished template. Obviously, if we're doing just a one-off on our part, making a template like this really wouldn't be worth the effort. But if you're making multiple copies, there's definite time savings when it comes to production of the actual work pieces. Okay, we're back. Received in the mail just yesterday the piece of plastic that Tom sent to me. Let's see how wide this blank is. Remember, the nominal width, overall width of the piece we're making is 5 inches, and this comes out at 4.980, so it's about 20 thou undersize, 4.980. Our template is 4.995, so that's not too bad for a wood butcher. So I'm just going to trace the template onto the blank. I've already got some double-sided tape stuck onto it, and then we'll rough it out and then do a cleanup with the template bit and the router. That feels good. Just a quick outline, give us something to rough to. And then, of course, when we're roughing it, we want to make sure that we leave the line. There we go. And I think I'll try taking out this center portion on the drill press with a Forstner bit rather than the jigsaw, the way I did the template. We'll see how that works. Never used this type of material. We'll see how a Forstner bit goes in it. Okay, here we are at the drill press. For those of you that aren't woodworkers, this is a Forstner bit. It cuts a flat bottom hole, and it also allows you to do overlapping holes without the bit drifting. Okay, here we are at the bandsaw. We'll finish roughing this piece out. Okay, we got it roughed out. Now it's time to reattach the template. This time I'm going to get it aligned as closely as possible. One of the things I was a little bit concerned about when I undertook this is whether the double-sided tape would stick to the plastic, which is high-density polyethylene. As it turns out, it sticks exceedingly well, so it's not an issue. There we go. Now off to the router. Okay, here we are back at the router. I've got the router spindle speed slowed right down to its lowest setting so that we don't run the risk of melting the plastic. There we go. Now all we need to do is separate this. And I think I probably need a chisel to do that. Like I said, it looks like this double-sided tape sticks pretty well to the polyethylene. There we go. Finished piece. Clean off this backing plastic. So when Tom had finished his pieces, he spent a little bit of time with a scraper of some sort, made by Noga, as I recall, to break these edges to make them a little bit more finger friendly. I'll do that with the router. I've got a roundover bit here. Again, it's piloted, and we'll just have a little bit of the cutter exposed just to break the edge on the part. So time for a bit change. Alright, time to break the edge. I won't be doing the top because there's a part that goes on there. Some milling to do on that. There we go. That's a little bit better. Finger friendly. Alright, thanks for watching.